Two things because I'm pissed off. So, number one, what a lot of you are in is a confusion chamber. It's a flesh chamber where pretty much you're surrounded by logic that's telling you that you now have to take a different route of behavior in order to be sensible and survive. But you're keeping up a confusion chamber. And what the confusion chamber is, it's a central point of avoidance of logical conclusion surrounded by constant misleading and miscommunication on purpose to confuse the point so that the structure of logic can't ever fully make itself within that group of people. And I do want you to know that over time, it's going to be more and more obvious what you're doing, and so the logic is just going to cut through you regardless of what fucking happens, especially once everybody that understands and knows what's going on says we need to move this along. This is taking too long. And then another thing. So there's a group of people that, because of certain disagreements, anytime that they come across my concept of me doing anything successful, unless it's a bad thing, unless I'm committing a crime, they're always going to say, no, he can't do that. No, I refuse to share that reality with him. No, he's not going to get that. And what this does is it sets up a lot of things. They always choose for me to be successful at committing crimes so that they can turn me into a criminal and thus make me killable and justify all of this. But it also sets it up that if they choose to constantly say no in a bunch of small ways. And what happens is eventually I reach a trag reaction, which is, this is unfair, what you're doing is wrong. And so I attempt to start saying, you guys are constantly removing my choice in small collective ways, and it's getting me killed. I am now fair to choose for your removal. And what they do is they call for attention. And because they're only calling for this, the reaction to this one incident and not the whole thing, what happens is these people come and they say, oh, that's unnecessary. He doesn't need to be like that towards this one little thing. What the hell? That's so unreasonable. And not knowing, and I'm pretty sure that these people are still aware and they're just pretending just to try and sell the story. That they don't know that all of this other rejection of my survival is going on. And some of the phrases that they'll use, these are the two most important phrases, right? They'll use, he doesn't need it. They'll use he doesn't need it, right? And what this does is it's pretty much if I don't need it for survival, they refuse to fucking accept me having it, right? And the thing is they themselves will also become affected by this. If they don't need it, then they can't have it either. But what it also is, it makes it seem like they're fucking trying to teach me a lesson, or they're sick of me being spoiled, right? But I'm reacting to them constantly saying no to things that they don't have to say no to. They just choose that for the sake of making me suffer, right? And so what it is, it ends up being step killing. They act like they're doing it for a justified reason. Like it's about maturity. It's about growing me up. It's about all this other stuff. He doesn't need it. But it's really just step killing. It's just saying no enough that I don't have the resources over time to survive and eventually go to a logical dead end. Now, because they choose to use vacuums like this, where it only seems like they're responding to this, it makes it seem as if we exist in these kinds of thinkings and we aren't responding to the whole overall trajectory of everyone's future. Now, another thing they'll do is they'll be like, oh my gosh, he needs to be more patient. Now, what this is, it's intentional. Because what I'm reacting to is not this, but actually this. What they'll do is they'll say something that sounds reasonable, like it sounds like a plausible reaction, like, no, he can't have it, he needs to be more patient, we just need to make him wait. And what that does is it causes a trag reaction where I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Now the concept I'm responding to is not only are you all doing me wrong, but you're all making it seem like it's okay to do. That's life is unfair. Life is unfair causes an irrational reaction. I become angry, I become hostile, I start cursing, I start fucking doing a bunch of fucked up shit. And then they say, oh, now he's never getting it because of what he did, right? And what that is, this is a strategic thing. They're choosing to purposely always push me towards these trag reactions, which is where they choose for me to constantly not survive in a bunch of small collective ways that over time turn into me genuinely having a hard time. And they know that that's what they're doing, and they keep me in this traging state. And what it does is it constantly makes me look irrational, and it constantly makes a new audience to justify me being told no, while they use other strategies to piss me off in front of those audience to make me seem like that's the reason that I don't deserve it. That's the reason that I don't need it and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just getting sick of that as well. So.